Look at these pedals. These are SPD pedals, which means that they attach to your shoes, so you can pedal like a god and fall over at the first red light because you forget to unclip. That's foot retention for you, one of the core elements of fixed gear riding, but there are a few different types of foot retention to choose from. I've been using big straps on large BMX style pedals ever since I started riding fixie, with no real complaints, but I've still decided that it's time to explore the obvious alternative, SPD pedals. Why would I fix something that isn't broken? I have heard good things about SPD pedals, I am very curious, and it's actually a pretty small step for me to take right now, because I already have almost everything I need. My Velosambas are designed for use with SPD pedals, and I almost forgot about these, but I have these pedals, which have SPD on one side and a standard platform on the other side. Not the prettiest thing in the world, and they are very heavy, but absolutely good enough to try the concept without investing in a pair of new pedals. The only thing that's missing is the part that connects the shoe and the pedal, the cleats, which is like a double-sided hook that clicks into the pedal. The idea is that you can only disconnect from the pedal by rotating your foot sideways with enough force to overcome the tension of a spring. I know this now, but at the time I refused to do any research on the subject, so instead I just brought the shoes into a local bike store and said, "Hello, I would like to use these together. Do you have what I need?" They said yes, and assumed correctly that I wanted help with installing them.
Tack.
I decided to go easy and not make my very first attempt on a fixed gear bike, so I put these pedals on my wife's bike instead. Clipping in was not difficult. After finding the right spot maybe 3 times, it feels automatic. Clipping out was also very natural. Everything feels good, I like this. My biggest reaction was that there was much more sideways float than I expected. Look at how much my feet can wiggle. Similar to my straps really, except that I rotate on a center point under the foot instead of within the limits of the straps. I wanted to stress test the system a little bit with some jumps. The pedals stayed clipped in, but the rear wheel took a beating. After this initial test, I felt very confident that this is worth it, so I picked up a used pair of double-sided Shimano M520. Look at these beauties! They will fit the look of my rusty road frame perfectly. I ride this bike fixed, with a gear ratio of 48-15, so this is the real test. Going into this, I was expecting to end up with the feeling that both straps and SPD would be the best choice for me in different situations, with no clear favorite. After all, it seems that the general opinion on this choice is almost 50-50 in the fixed gear communities that I observe on the internet. However, after using the SPD pedals for a couple of rides now, I already have a hard time coming up with any riding situation where I would choose straps if I have both options equally available. This is of course under the circumstances that I would use the same shoes for either choice, which I do, and that I'm not considering the price of buying more pedals for more bikes. Because those two things are the remaining advantages of straps. They are cheaper, and they work with any shoes and most platform pedals. SPD on the other hand requires specific shoes, cleats and pedals. But when I have all that, I enjoy SPD more. It just feels even better than straps, which I really like too. The first thing that was negatively impacted by going SPD was the walkability of my shoes. By installing the cleats, they went from extremely walkable to only incredibly walkable. Even though I can feel the cleats striking against asphalt, they are not at all noticeable on any other surface, even hard indoor surfaces like in a grocery store. Not at all. It's only on asphalt. But once I am walking on asphalt, for a split second in every step, it feels like walking on ice skates. Then the rubber sole takes over the friction again. The second thing that I am still thinking about is skidding and hard backpedaling. The best thing about SPD is that you can apply force up, down, forward and backward with any foot angle. With straps, you can't pull your foot backwards, it'll just fall out. However, I would trust my straps with my life to hold up against any force that I can give them in all other directions. With the SPD pedals, I have accidentally unclipped while backpedaling on a descent exactly one time so far. It was fine, but it gave me some sound skepticism to maybe not trust them 100% quite yet. Maybe I rotated my foot, maybe I didn't, maybe I need to tighten the springs, I don't know, but I am prepared that it could happen again. I'm monitoring the situation. At least for now, I want to put them on every bike that I use. And maybe I will eventually, just not at the same time. I'm trying to take things relatively slow because there is always more to learn. For example, I have now also learned that this type of SPD is sometimes referred to as mountain bike SPD or gravel bike SPD. They are great for most things, but they are not the obvious choice for quote-unquote serious road bike riding. The road bike oriented type is called SPD Superlight, or just SPD SL. It requires another specific type of cycling shoes, the ones that you really don't want to do any walking with. It clicks into place on 3 points instead of 2 for better stability and power transfer, and the cleat is made out of plastic to save weight, which also makes them wear out much faster than the metal cleats on regular SPDs. Maybe I will give that a try at some point in the future when I feel the need to complicate things even more for marginal gains or whatever. Maybe it will make perfect sense at that time. But right now I will use a mix of the different straps and SPD pedals that I have for the different bikes that I use for different types of riding. I actually don't think I would like to practice riding backwards being clipped in. So for example, in that scenario, I do want, well, not straps, because I don't use straps for that either. I just want a platform. Since you clearly like fixed gear bikes, you should subscribe to the channel. I just ordered a new fixed gear frame set. It has low chainstays, a very dark grey color base with orange details, and it's from Hong Kong. If you know what I'm talking about, I hope you are as excited as I am. Thanks for watching, have a great day.